We're studying IGCSE English and we're starting email writing one. Today's class, the agenda is, or the objective is going to be looking at the format of emails, email writing, content, style, time, and finally, applying, let's just say, partial. Now start with by reading the question, Nuala.
Email writing. You're going on a family holiday, but your brother, sister cannot come. Your parents have said you can invite a friend instead. Write an email to your friend inviting him, her to join you on a holiday with your family.
All right. Now your job is to write an email. Why are you writing this? Inviting him to join you on your holiday with your family. This right here is called the purpose. Now we always have a few things. We have purpose, format, and audience. Format. These are the three things we have. An audience. The first thing in purpose is, well, we know the purpose already. You have to write about inviting. You have to invite him, but it's also more about this, all of this right here. So your answer should be directly related to the points given in the question. You must answer the question. Nothing except the question, right? Don't write things which are not given in the question. Don't write things which are out of context. Next thing is the format. Since this is an informal letter, email is the same as informal letter. And the audience over here is going to be a friend. Audience means who is going to read your letter. Now that's clear. You're talking to your friend, right? Friend. The next thing is the first step is always to create a plan. Okay, you need to create your plan for these 3 bullet points, and you have to write down what are you going to mention in each paragraph, what are going to be the main points for each paragraph, and how are you going to answer the question. We'll get to the plan in a second, but before that, let's look at what email writing is. Now we already know that email is all means informal letter. But what is the format for this? Start writing, all of you. We're going to use 3 paragraphs. 3 or 4 paragraphs. I just said 3 paragraphs. Cover bullet points accurately. Niranjana, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir.
Good evening. Start writing. So we have 3 paragraphs always. We always cover all the bullet points equally. Don't let's say, so what some people do is they write everything. Let's say this is going to be 100, 200 words. 200 words. What they do is they give 175 words to this and 25 words to this. It doesn't work like that. You have to divide the paragraph equally and talk about each thing. Let's say we give 50 words to each of these paragraphs. You can make 160, but that's fine. But you need to make them equal. Don't give less emphasis on one part of the question. You have to answer the whole question equally. Next thing is you have to have a few more things, such as informal language, tone, and register. Now, let's get the paragraphs which we need. The main thing is, paragraph is going to be introduction. Then we have the body and the conclusion. But it's not like the article, it's not like the review. It's much simpler. And that's the point. You have to keep it simple. You don't have to make it overcomplicated because it's an email, and emails must be short and simple. And lastly, you have an informal, let's say sign off. Done. Any questions?
Do we also have to write like from and to?
No. The address is not needed. It is not formal. So no formal greetings. Like example could be no formal greetings. What does that mean? Don't say, let's say, things like best wishes, or just a second, don't say things like kind regards or sincerely. All of these are formal. Okay. Don't use words
Excuse
like
me, sir.
respected. Yes.
What's informal sign off?
Informal sign off. I'll give you an example for that. Example could be, let's say, uh, best wishes, right? Take care, or things like see you soon, things like this. Does that make sense?
How about just a simple
Yes.
bye?
Well, just a simple bye, you'll get just a simple marks for that. Because the more better you write, the more marks you get, right? So we can just say bye, but that's boring, right? We need to have something more interesting. I'll give you more than these. You don't have to write just best wishes, take care. You can say your best friend. Your best friend. Let's say your best friend Diana. Something like this. All right.
Okay.
Now, next thing is, let's look at other stuff, such as that's done. So that's your informal sign off. And what about the introduction? Introduction, and you should have, let's say, an opening statement. Let's say, and let's say greeting, informal greeting. What does that mean? Informal greeting. Examples are, let's say, dear. That's the best one. Dear. Let's say,
How about hello?
hello, hello X, hey, also X. All of these are fine. So we get ourselves, we get a few things very clear. We need introduction, informal greeting. We need an informal sign off, and in the middle, we need to answer the question. But that's not enough. That's the format which I've given you right here. There are a lot of a few more things here, which comes under content and style. Fine. For the content, follow. Let's just say follow question closely. All. Yep. That's it. Next thing is follow word limit. Obviously, that's something which is obvious. Next thing is, we looked at a few things called informal tone and register. What does that mean? Informal tone and register. Well, tone means, well, and a few examples of these could be, or let's say you can use contractions, you can use colloquialism, and I'll teach you all of this in a second. And you can ask me if you have any doubts as well. Next thing is you can use informal linking words. You can use phrases, phrasal verbs. You can use idioms, good punctuation, and proper consistent tense. Now, please write all of this. Tell me when you're done writing. Now, English is not just writing something and being done with it. English is more like cooking or more like painting, because every word you write, you need to know why you're writing that and what effect is it going to have in your writing. Anything else? I think, yeah, yeah, metasimile and metaphor. Good punctuation. Example could be semicolon. Now tell me when you're done writing the whole thing, and we'll start from the first thing, such as what is contraction, what is colloquialism, and all of that. Niranjana, any questions? Niranjana,
Yeah, sir.
any questions?
No.
All right, all right.
We're done, sir.
Finished? Anas? Now we'll look at the format in a little bit
Yeah.
more detail in a few seconds. All right, just one more thing. You should use a few more things here. Lots of adjectives. That's important. That's why I'm writing this in capital, because it is important. And one more thing is, show emotions, and let's say thoughts, and paint pictures. Do one thing. I want you to remove the word. Never mind. Continue. One last thing is anecdotes. Now, Diana, Niranjana, tell me when you're done writing. Now, one more thing is that I want you to take English much more seriously than, let's say, physics, or even subjects like maths, biology. All of these subjects, they feel difficult. That's true, but it's much easier to get good grades in those subjects, unlike English. Most of my students, they get A stars, but not everyone, not all of them. Usually, you get very close to an A star, and you miss the A star by, let's say, 5 or 4 or 5 marks, which can be easily improved. If you study properly, then you will not miss the A star. One thing I would like to tell you is that if you finish IGCSE English with A star, then you don't have to give IELTS for any international colleges. What did I tell you, Luna? Repeat after me. What did I say?
If I was A-star in English, I don't need to do the IELTS exam.
Yes. So that is a very big thing. Okay, because IELTS itself is very expensive and you have to give the exam quite more expensive. So you should save yourself the trouble and just study properly for this. Now, Diana, have you finished writing?
Yes, sir.
Let's look at the another question right here. Ranjana, read the question. Niranjana,
Yes, sir.
read the question.
You recently went to an opening day for a new visitor attraction in your town. Write an email to a friend about the day. In your email, you should describe the visitor attraction, explain what happened on the day, say if you think the attraction will be a success or not.
All right. Now, can you quickly tell me what is the purpose of this letter, Lula?
In this letter, we should be writing about an opening day of a new visitor attraction in your town, in our town.
And what is the content you should finish?
We
These
should
3 bullet
describe the
points.
visitors. We should
Right.
describe the visitor's attraction, explain what happened on the day, say if you think the attraction will be a success or not.
All right. So you have the purpose, and we have the audience. Who is the audience? Your friend. That's very important that you understand who you're writing to. You're not writing to your parents. Parents is different from friend. Both are informal letter, but since you're writing to your friend, you must make it personal. A lot more emotions over there. Let's start with the format right here more closely. Now over here, let's start with the first paragraph. The first paragraph was introduction. Now in the introduction, how do we start? Well, if you look, let's first look at the question for a few seconds. And before even I start writing, I must have a plan. Now this is the key importance here, because if you don't write a plan, you're going to repeat things in the paragraph. You'll run out of ideas, and you will not finish the question properly. Now the first one: describe the visitor attraction. Now, okay, Anas, can you tell me any visitor attraction you think we should talk about in this letter? Give me ideas, quick.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Tourist attraction.
So
No,
for
I
the
don't have
first
an idea.
paragraph, you have to describe a visitor
Describe the
attraction.
visitor attraction.
What kind of visitor attraction can we have?
Museums.
Museum, all right? Makes sense. Now, for each of these bullet points, I need at least 3 points or 3 descriptions of them.
I think that's like a parade. So we could do parade.
Parade also works, but I think museum would be a much
Okay.
better option. So look, parade is also fine, because I want you to take things which are easy to describe. Well, parade is also easy to describe, so that's good. Now, for all of these, I need descriptions. 3 descriptions, like 3 small words which will guide you in your writing. You should know what you're going to write about before you start writing. Don't think when you're writing, by the way. Now, Diana, describe the museum for me. Any points? Anything about a museum?
is a place where you see like some rare stuff.
Okay, place with rare stuff. Okay, we can write about that. Niranjana, give me another description of a museum. Hurry up. Anything? Niranjana, you in class? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So something about a museum.
We can learn more about the history.
History. So place to learn about history. Now, one thing is we're describing the attraction physically. So I want you to describe the place for me. Not the word museum, but something about the physical place of a museum. Let's say it was very big. It was, let's say, fancy, or perhaps it had a lot of stuff, or let's say they were elephants or they were giant skeletons, anything like that. Now, I need one more point quick, Anas. Tell me.
Okay, so places to learn about museum, right?
Yeah, a description of a physical museum, a place.
Collections.
Collections. You had a lot of collections. Now we need more detail here. Collections of what, Anas?
Ancient stuff.
Ancient stuff. All right. So let's make it a bit more interesting. Collection of Egyptian, ancient Egyptian, ancient Egyptian, let's say, uh, tools, perhaps.
There
Let's say
are
art,
science related and artistic paints.
right? We can say that. Egyptian art and tools. Let's say that. Now, place with ray stuff, that makes sense. But a little bit more. Let's say place with ray stuff, never, let's say never seen before. So it's a place where ray stuff which have never been seen before. Okay, a little bit more detail. Now, place to learn about history. History of who? Of, let's say, Egyptians. Or Egyptian, or let's say, instead of Egyptian, let's say Egyptian pharaohs. So more detail. Finally, let's look at what happened that day. We'll get to that in a second. First, start writing the first paragraph now. Before, actually, when you are writing, you must write these key points in the rough section of the paper, or you'll have a lot of space here. In the question paper, they give you this much extra space, and there you're supposed to write your plan. Not so long, but you should know what you're going to write about. Next thing is introduction. So how do we start the introduction? Well, we must have an informal greeting. Okay, so how do I get that? I'll say, Diana, tell me any informal greeting.
Like, can I say Saturday night we went to the local museum?
Yeah, that makes sense. But what I mean by greeting is, let's say, I'll say, hey.
Good evening or something.
Now, good evening is formal. Good evening is wrong. What we need is, let's say, dear, let's say, dear Farah. That is informal. Fine. Now, after dear Farah, that's the informal opening. We can also say, hey Farah. That also works. Now, after this, our job is to look at the points. Before we even look at the points, we'll have a few lines of, let's say, hi and hello. We have to talk to them, ask them how they are. Okay. So after the informal greeting, we will have an opening. Opening. Let's just say opening. In the opening, we have to talk to the person and ask them or tell them about something. Okay. Let's say, I won't say, how are you doing? And how is your family? Now that's the most boring thing you can write. That's the most boring thing you can write. So how is your family? Skip that part, ditch that. Instead, you should say, it was awesome to hear from you. It was awesome to hear from you. Sorry for not replying sooner. Now that's like an opening. You can talk. You can say this. It's like you're talking to a friend, right? You usually talk to them. So it was awesome to hear from you. Let's say you're replying to another letter, and then you're telling them that, okay, I'm so sorry because I could not reply soon, and now I'm writing a letter. This creates like a bond between you and Farah, which makes it seem real. If you say how are you and how is your family, that doesn't make it feel very realistic. Now after this, let's say I'll say something else. I hope your university is going amazing. But guess what opened in my town? Guess what opened in my town? We have just inaugurated. And just instead of saying that, we'll use a linking word. Recently, what was the first topic? Egyptian museum. Okay, so we'll say an Egyptian museum. Now give me a second. I want you to think what we're going to write after this. I gave you the opening, and this opening is very important. Now, what do we write after this is going to come from you based on the plan we have just written. So do one thing in your notebook, continue this paragraph, write this, write all of this, then continue it, and you have to send me a picture in exactly 5 minutes. Let's
Wait, so
say-
we should add the point from the ones that we wrote up, or like just continue it?
Continue
Wait,
from the
wait.
plan. Yes, Anas?
Picture of what?
Picture, where picture? Say that again, Anas.
You told us to send a picture.
Picture, yes. What you have to do is, I've written the opening for you and I gave the greeting. Greeting and opening are done. Now your job is to continue from here. Recently an Egyptian museum, ... Okay. You have to continue from here, remove the ... and based on the points right here, finish the paragraph and send me a picture, however much you can write in 5 minutes. Then what we are going to do is we're going to analyze your writing based on this plan and I'll improve your writing. All right. So I'm not just going to write for you, then there's no point of that because I'm not going to give the exam for you. You have to give the exam. So quickly finish writing this and continue the paragraph, the first paragraph based on these points. And send me a picture. If you understand, say yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anas, Niranjana, Alula.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Niranjana. Niranjana,
Yes, sir.
what are we doing in class right now? Tell me.
Sir, your voice is very low now.
The voice is very low.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Now it's okay. So
Yeah.
just tell me, what are we doing? What are we doing in class right now?
We finished the first paragraph and now we have to continue with the rest.
Continue with the rest and send me the picture in 5 minutes. Fine?
Yeah.
All right. Start writing quick. I'll take a phone call and I'll be right back.
Sir, we have to write recently an Egyptian museum in next line, like along this paragraph.
Yes, you have to continue this line. What happens after this? You can say recently an Egyptian museum opened, or let's say opened up, or it was brought here, or we went to an Egyptian museum, something like that. So continue from here, the line. However you see fit.
We recently is in a different paragraph, right?
It's not a different paragraph, not at all. We will only have 3 paragraphs. And in the 3 paragraphs, the first paragraph we write about the first bullet point. In the second paragraph, we write the second bullet point, and the third one, the third bullet point. If you want me to show you a museum, well, these are some examples which you can use for your writing. But it's very important that you go with the plan here. Now, there is one thing we need to understand in the first paragraph. They're telling us to describe the visited attraction. Diana, read the first point once out loud.
Describe the visitor attraction.
Okay, describe the visitor attraction. Now, since our visitor attraction is museum, fine, we're describing a museum. Now, but what are they asking us to describe? Are they asking us what is a museum? What are they asking? Are they asking what is a museum? Or are they asking us to describe?
So do we describe the museum in the first paragraph, and then in the second we explain what happened, and then
Exactly, but yes,
and
and
third what we think, our opinion about it.
yes, opinion about it. And then you also have to conclude about it. Now the thing is, first we're just writing the first paragraph right now. Next thing is, what are they asking us? Describe what is a museum, or what is a museum, or describe the place of the museum. Which do you think is what the question is asking us? The first one, the second one, or the third one? I want the answer in the chat. Don't say it, please. And the answer in the chat.
Sir, can you show us the question?
I'll show you the question. Look at the question.
Sir, what should we write about? What point should we write in the chat?
I'll tell you. You just have to choose between A, B, C, or D. What do you think is the first question asking us? First bullet point asking us. A, B, C, or D. I need an answer from all of you.
Can I see the examples we wrote for the first paragraph?
I'll give you, but Anas, first answer, tell me what is the question asking us? in the first bullet point, they're asking us describe the visit attraction. Our visitor attraction is museum. So from A, B, C, D, what do you think the question is asking you?
Okay, describe the visitor's attraction.
Yeah, say it in the chat.
E.
Niranjana, I want the answer in the chat.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm waiting for the last one. Those who have answered, keep writing, and you have the examples given over here. Those who have not answered the question, choose an option and write in the chat.
What was the correct answer?
I'll tell you. Niranjana, all you have to do is choose A, B, C, or D. What do you think the question is asking you? In the first bullet point. Option A, option B, C, or D.
Sir, for which question? The second one?
No, the first one only. Liana, you have answered. Lula also. Just continue with your paragraph, the first paragraph. I'll tell you the correct answer in a second. Niranjana, what do you think is the correct option? You don't have to answer the question. You just have to tell me. In the
Okay.
first bullet point, what do you think they're asking us to describe? Are they asking us to describe what is a museum? Describe or describe the place of the museum, or describe what the museum is about? Which one? What should we describe?
I describe the museum is about.
Okay, D. So, okay, everyone is choosing D, what the museum is about. Perfect. Now that's correct. You have to describe what the museum is about. That's perfect. But okay, so the most of the answers have chosen A or D. But what I would like to tell you is the main function of your first paragraph has to be describe the place of the museum. Your job is to describe what the museum looked like, what were the things inside it, and well, both of these are the correct option. Fine. C and D, that's correct. You have to talk about what the museum is, what the museum is about, not what a museum is or what happens in museum, because everyone knows that. Everyone knows that museum is about history. It has, let's say, it tells us about history, and it has paintings and art. But your job is to say what kind of painting, whose history, what kind of rare stuff. So you have to describe the place, and you have to describe what is the museum about, especially this thing. You have to tell me what did the museum look like, what were the colors of the walls, perhaps. Let's say, was it very big or was it small? What kind of paintings were there? All of those kind of things. You understand? Any questions? Ask me. The correct answers are C and D. So don't tell the reader what is a museum, because they already know that. Don't tell them that it's about history, or it's something where we learn about history, or something where we have a lot of paintings and art. We know that already. What we need to know is what kind of painting is there, and what did the paintings look like. So let's say in this image, we realize that the paintings are very big. So we'll say they were huge paintings, or we will say they were lighting. Look, there's also lighting here. These are the things we have to talk about. We can say these were descriptions on the walls.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, Diana.
Before writing all of this, we have to say that we visited the place or something, right?
Yes, Yes, you have to. So we have done that right here. In the first paragraph, we'll say, recently an Egyptian museum opened in my town. Okay, and you have to tell them, yes, you visited, which is given in the question. You'll say, okay, open in my town, and upon visiting, I found the place to be huge, or upon visiting, I saw that there were things like, what you can tell me what things were there. Okay, I can also say upon visiting.
Wait, I sent in the chat what I wrote. Can you check?
All right, I'll check. Now, quickly, just send me what have you written so far, and we'll continue from there. Diana and Lula, have you written anything?
Yes, I have, sir.
I'm still writing, sir.
Right. Okay. Right. Uh, if you have any confusions on what you have to write, ask me. Niranjana, are you writing?
So I'm still writing.
So wait,
Alright.
I'm good. First paragraph.
I'm looking at it, Anas. Just a second. Now, did you type it or did you write in your notebook? Okay. People said to they writing that they never seen before and they had a question. Said that we got. Okay. Anas, I need more detail. Right now, I just told you, we know that museums have rare items. Okay, we know that museums have collections, but what kind of collections, right? That's the important thing. So please give examples, Anas, and give adjectives to describe the place. Anas, are you going to change your answer? Should I give you a few minutes?
Wait, I have to change it. For shirt,
Yes.
t-shirt, sweatshirt. Okay.
You have to change it, Anas. Add more examples, give more details.
So the
and
first
use
time
adjectives.
I also wrote the same what you wrote.
Say that again, Niranjana.
First paragraph.
Sir, I wrote the same like you.
You have to write this, you have to write that, but you have to continue from there. Okay? Understand?
Yeah.
So you have to continue from here. Now I've gotten Lula's answer. Anas, I want you to take 2 minutes to change things in your answer, and the last few sentences are not grammatically correct. So check it. And then I'll look at your answer as well. Now, dear Farah, it was awesome to hear from you. Sorry for not replying sooner. I hope you received in my town. Now,
There was-
Lula, again, yes. Yes, Anas.
The one I sent you was the first paragraph.
First paragraph. But I think you can improve it. Take a few more minutes and improve it. Because it is, right now, it is a, let's say, a 3 out of 10. So usually you write good things. I know that you're very good at writing, so I think you can improve. Now, recent Egyptian museum has opened in our town and it's trending widely everywhere. That's amazing. Good. Trending quietly. And after all the hype, it got finally me and my. Now that's not correct. Just a second. Widely hype. This is wrong. The red parts are wrong, Luna, and the green parts are good. Clay going to give it a look. That's good. Give it a look. And oh my God. When I tell you the space looks so good, I won't believe how good it. Okay, just a bit. It has totally.
I know there are so many spelling mistakes, but like since
Yes.
I was in a
It's
hurry,
all right. It's all right. Tell me. Read the word. What is that?
it's marbling.
Marbling. All right. Diana, I've gotten your answer. Marbling. We'll look at that in a second. Now on it has, and the items displayed are very rare. Okay. The place reminds me of the historical library we went to when we were in Paris. So that's very good. This part is very good. This way. Again, cut that part out. Painting were large and beautiful. That's very good. Along with informations about the painting and artworks. All right. We'll look at it in a second. Now, Lula and the rest of you who are writing, keep writing, okay, and send me your answer. We'll improve it. Now, Lula, listen to me, and Diana, if you finish writing, focus on the whiteboard. Now, some good things I can tell you about this is that we have an adjective. All of these are adjectives. Widely, large, beautiful. Those are adjectives. Good, which is a good thing. Fine. Hype is good vocabulary. And place reminds me when we were in Paris. That's, let's say, anecdote. Now, what should I say? Lula, you know what an anecdote is?
No, I don't.
Lula, I'll tell you. Okay. We'll look at that in a second. We'll look at that in a second. Now, one thing I need you to improve is it's never me and worker or me and work colleague. It should be
I just forgot to write me and my work colleague.
that would still be wrong. Why? Me and my work colleague would still be wrong. That's fine. That's so we'll look at how to improve that. Whenever you're writing about someone else in you say my work colleague and I. Is that clear? My work
Okay.
colleague and I. That's the correct way of writing it. My work colleague and I went to give it a look. This is right here called it's called a phrasal verb. Good. Now you won't believe one thing, Lula, which you're doing is I want you to make your sentences shorter. Fine. So let's say when this is so good, let's make a full stop right here and we'll start with a capital right here. I want you to have short sentences and not very long sentences. You won't believe. Again, punctuation. Believe how good it was. Then we'll stop here. We'll give a linking word. For example, so you don't have any linking words actually. You do have finally, that's good. But whenever you're starting a sentence, you should give a linking word such as, for example, or moreover, or additionally, something like this. So for example, it has historical marbling on it, and the items displayed are, instead of saying very, we'll say quite rare. We'll put an and over here. And the place reminds me of the historical Paris we went to in Egypt. Now, whenever you're saying the theme is about Egypt or Egyptian history, do not write extra words. Try to keep your sentences short. Remove anything unnecessary. So Egypt is unnecessary. Any questions, Luna?
No, sir.
We'll look at anecdote and phrasal verbs in a second. Anas, have you finished rewriting your paragraph? Dear Caroline, that's good. It was awesome. We've done that already. Recently, an Egyptian museum opened across his good vocabulary across the street. Me and my classmates. Again, Diana, the same thing. You should say my classmates and I. Is that clear?
Yes,
My
sir.
classmates and I went last week. Instead of saying last week here, we always start with a linking word. Let's say last week. Then we'll put a comma. That's a linking word. So last week, my classmates and I went to discover the place. That's good vocabulary. The exterior was huge and beautifully designed. That's good vocabulary again. The museum had a bunch of, that's a good phrase. Ancient Egyptian tools, fake pyramids, and paintings. Fine. Now, this is a good paragraph. Again, we'll improve it. I want you to compare. There's no, yeah. Egypt, say that again. Egypt is a country, yes. One thing we have to do is we have to add more content to it. Diana, you didn't make any mistakes, but we have to put more things. Give a
Yes,
rating.
I'm continuing it.
Continue it. Now, okay. Over here, I'll give this one a 4 out of 10, and also this one a 4 out of 10. Especially because of the mistakes, this got a less mark. If you didn't make mistakes, this would get a 5 out of 10. But again, this is nowhere as a 9 out of 10. That's what we have to make it. Now, Niranjana, have you finished writing?
But sir, I have a question. As in for a
Ask me.
first paragraph to talk about the museum, is it long or short?
It's going to be equal. All 3 paragraphs must be the same length. All right. So let's look at it in terms of words. We have 200 words. Divide that by 3, and we should get something over, let's say, 60 words for each paragraph. So one thing is, students try to write too much to add more detail. Now, one thing is, what I'm saying is, Diana, you don't have to extend this. You have to add more detail into this much words only. Okay, we look at how to do that. I don't want you to write 2, 3, 4, 4 lines more.
Chat, can you check it?
I'll check it. So you don't have to write 3, 4 lines more, because that will make it very long. We don't want it to be very long. We want it to be short, and we have to add more detail in short paragraphs.
Sir,
Each paragraph. Yeah. One more line. All right. There should be 60 words. Each paragraph, 60 words only. So not more than 60 words. Now, Niranjana, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Finish writing.
So I will send it to you right now. Give me 2 more minutes.
Send it. All right. Take your time.
I sent it in the chat.
All right. Anas, I'm looking at yours. Just give me 1 second. I'll check how many words this is. All right, Anas, this right here is 93 words. So clearly you're above the word limit. So we need to make it 60 words. But that's fine, you can do it later. I don't want you to worry about words right now. Worry about writing properly. Now, next thing is, dear Hank, it was awesome to hear from you. Sorry for not replying. So that's done. Recently, an Egyptian was introduced to our town, me and Diaz. Again, see, same mistake. It's not me and Diaz, it's going to be Diaz and I.
Okay. Diaz and I.
Visited the museum. It was marvelous. Now, this right here is very good. This is called good punctuation. Semicolon. And that's a good use of a semicolon. Now, that is what it means to add more details to the same paragraphs. You can add a semicolon, you can add exclamation marks, like how Lula put capital oh my god right there. That's also good. The museum was mostly about ancient Egypt. They had plenty of huge statues, okay, that showed pictures of ancient Egypt's important people. We'll change the word here. Change this word here as well. They had amazing artifacts. That's good. That represented the country's ancient life. Where it also had this amazing theater where a film was made talking about Egypt. Now, pretty good, not a lot of mistakes, but a few things which are missing, Anas.
What does it mean, the red underline?
I'll tell you, those are mistakes which we have to improve. Okay? Not mistakes, but things we can improve. Let's start off with a few things. Anas, can you tell me any linking words you have used here? The rest of you also pay attention.
Recently.
Recently and
Wait. I think that's it.
that's it. So I don't want that to be it. Let's add one more linking word here. It was marvelous. The museum was mostly about ancient Egypt. Then we'll add something here. We'll say, furthermore over here. So after a few paragraphs, a few lines, you must add linking words, because otherwise it will look very long and boring. Add linking words. Let's say after every 2-3 lines, you have to add a linking word, like furthermore or moreover, additionally. Now that's fine. You did that. Good. Now again, let's look at vocabulary. Now, Anas, instead of saying huge, you can say gigantic.
Enormous.
Enormous, gigantic. That works. Enormous is much better. Instead of saying important, let's say crucial, or let's say influential. That's again vocabulary. And what you're doing is you're repeating amazing. Amazing artifacts, amazing theater. That's not good. That's repetition of words.
Okay.
Instead of amazing, we'll say they had amazing artifacts and mesmerizing, or let's say amazing theater. And let's change this amazing to mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing.
What is the meaning of mesmerizing?
Amazing.
Amazing, not really, not amazing. We'll look at that in a second. So any questions on us?
Nope.
Now, a few things we can add here are simile or metaphors, because we are describing. Now, quickly, I'm going to take Niranjana's answer as well. And then what we'll do is, I'll give you one answer combining all your answers. That's also fine. That's an example. This is good, by the way. Diana. So examples. Niranjana, have you given your writing? Should I move on?
Yes, sir, I send it to you.
All right. Now, finally, the rest of you can check your answer and try.
So wait, how much do I get out of 10?
Out of 10 for this one, you get a 5 as well. Dear Farah, it was awesome to hear from you, so that's fine. Recently, Niranjana, whenever we use recently or words like this, it's called a linking word, and they must have a comma after them. So every linking word has a comma after it. So we'll put a comma right here. An Egyptian museum has opened in our town last Friday. That's fine. That's also good. That's good. Last Friday. That's very good. It was a huge museum. That's perfect. Got to learn a lot about the statues and ancient Egypt. That's problem. There were so many paintings. Okay. Paintings, ancient household things. Moreover, that's very good. A different writing was carved in many of these stones. All right. And now, Niranjana, first thing is, after linking word, put the comma. I think this is very short. You need to add more lines to this, at least 2 more lines. Whenever, Niranjana, can you hear me?
Sir.
So whenever you write a linking word like this, moreover, it is always in the beginning of a sentence. And it should be capital. Fine? So ancient household things, and then moreover, comma. You put the comma here, that's very good. A different writing was carved.
I wrote recently, I was in a hurry.
No worries. Now, how can I improve this? Firstly, also, ancient Egypt life is going to be Egyptian life. Those are some mistakes, small mistakes, but what can we add here? I want you to add, let's say there were so many paintings, instead of saying paintings, we'll say, instead of saying so many, we'll say there were several amazing paintings, or let's say mesmerizing paintings. Ancient household items. And Niranjana, okay, so count this with me. You gave the example of a painting, and then you gave the example of household. How many examples are these? 1 and
So
2. But whenever you're writing examples, you must give 3, which is called a list of 3. So what we can do instead here is, Lula, can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Now in paintings, household items, fine. Next thing is, don't give 2 examples, always give 3 and end with an and. What we'll say, so several mesmerizing paintings, ancient household things, instead of things we'll say items. And then we'll say and, let's say amazing or enormous statues. One thing you will realize is I'm giving adjective before each example, right? Adjective before each example. Then full stop, we'll then say moreover, a different writing, whereas instead of saying carved, it will be curved, it will be carved. Niranjana, any questions?
no, sir.
Now this one is good, but I think you can do much better, especially with the adjectives and a few more things. We look at that. You have to add, I'll tell you what you have to add. You had, so I'll tell you the good parts in your writing, which are you had examples, you had linking words, which was good. You had adjectives. Well, not a lot of adjectives actually. What you can do is improve is by writing phrases or phrasal verbs. Niranjana, do you know what phrasal verbs are?
Phrasal words. So there are phrases in that.
I'll tell you what it is. All of you, just a second. Simile or metaphor. And punctuation, such as semicolon and exclamation marks. So these are the things you have to add. More adjectives, add simile, add semicolon somewhere, add exclamation marks, and use phrasal verbs. Now we'll look at all of these in a second. Lula, I'll check your other answers afterwards. Let's first go to how should we write all of these things. First, in your notebook, I want you to write a few vocabulary, all of you. Tell me when you finish writing.
Okay.
Just a second. Let's start with these words. Enormous, gigantic, mesmerizing, influential, vivid, or let's say vivid. We'll say, I'll give you the meaning of these first. Now you have to use enormous or gigantic in place of, let's say, big.
Marvelous.
Marvelous is also one.
Magnificent.
Those are words. That's good. What I want to describe is mesmerizing and marvelous does the job. Mesmerizing instead of, let's say, amazing. Influential instead of important. Vivid instead of, let's say, colorful. Marvelous is in place of, let's say, again, amazing. Now, I'm not giving you the meanings of these. I'm just giving you words which you can replace. Is that fine? Or should I give you the meaning as well?
That's fine.
No need of
That's fine.
meaning. It's fine.
Because they won't ask you word meanings in the exam. What all you have to do is whenever you think of using the word colorful, replace it with vivid. Whenever you want to use amazing, replace it with marvelous. Now let's look at a few more things. Can I finish writing this first? I'll give you a few more.
Done, sir.
Done. Phrasal verbs. Now phrasal verbs are, let's say, have a look, meet up, just a second. Write this, tell me when you're done.
Done, sir.
Niranjana, Diana,
Done, sir.
Yeah, done. I'm done.
all right. Okay. I'll give you a few more which you can use in this writing, such as meet up, check out, well, hang out, obviously. That's one of the, which is good, hang out. Drop by. Get over to. Write these in your notebook.
Okay.
Put off. Leave space for the meanings. A little bit of space. Finally, simile. Like, let's say, like a pyramid. Okay, what you can use in this writing, you can use is like a palace in a desert, like an ancient market. Now you'll realize a few things, a pattern here. The pattern is we're using the word like, and after that we're giving some other thing. And all of these things here, all of this is basically comparison.
Wait, do we also write metaphors?
Metaphors, all you have to do is replace the like. Okay, so in metaphors,
I know that, but do you also have to write them?
right now, no. In your writing, you should. You have to write metaphors. So metaphors, same as simile, but no like. I'll give you just one more example, finish writing, then we'll be done. As big as, let's say, a pyramid. That is also a synonym. The word using as. Similarly, we have, let's say, as magnificent as a palace. Now I want all of this to be in your writing. Okay, some of these must be there in your writing. You're going to finish it as homework, and you have to use these. Just a few more things I'll give you is a few idioms which I want you to write in your writing. Use in your writing. let's say, under the weather, which means
Under the influence.
now under the weather means having a bad mood. I want this to be in your writing somewhere. Now, any of these, not just this one, okay? An arm and a leg. Cost an arm and a leg. And a leg, which means very expensive. So you can talk about how the museum was expensive as well. How it cost you an arm and a leg to get the ticket. That's something you can write. What else you can write is
What does under the influence mean?
under the influence is not an idiom. It means to be under the control of something. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, next thing is jump on a bandwagon. Follow, to follow a trend. So if let's say blindly. Just one more, let's say, miss the mark, to fail.
Sir, is also under the weather like for being sick?
Sick, yes, having a bad mood or being sick. Same thing. It's just being unwell. Okay, means to be not well. Now, okay, and reaching or being reaching cloud 9. To be very happy. Perhaps when you got there and when you looked at all the pyramids and statues, it was as if you were on cloud 9. Now tell me when you're done writing. That's all for now.
Done, sir.
Niranjana?
Wait, being on cloud 9 means like you're dead and then
No.
okay.
Cloud 9 means to, let's say, be very happy. Okay? Very,
Okay.
very, very happy. Let's say to be extremely happy. That's it.
Done, sir.
Finished? Now, your job, I'm not giving you a lot today. We're just taking 5 idioms and a few similes, a few phrasal verbs, and 6 new words. All right? All you have to do is finish this as homework before the next class, and I'm serious about it. Otherwise, you'll not be allowed entry into the class. I don't care if you're paying the fees or not. You're not allowed entry if you don't do the homework. Now, the homework is finish the question. I'll give you the screenshot of the question in the GCR. You should take it right now. Finish question and use these words. Finish question and use these. Use these in
So,
your
sir,
writing.
we have to finish it before tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. You have to finish before the next class. When is the next class?
Today we
Next
don't have a class.
week. I think the next
Next
class
class
is
is next English class.
Wednesday.
All right. Next English class is
So
Wednesday.
like until the next English class, so
Next English class. Now, just a second. Take screenshot of this quick. The homework.
Can I say a question?
Not right now, Anas. Take a screenshot. Tell me when you're done. Is it on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So Wednesday is, I'll give you the date as well, 26th. You have 3 days to write a 30-minute thing. Perhaps you can find 30 minutes out of your 76 hours. Finished? Now, when you're done taking a screenshot of this, everyone done? I'll show you the question. Take a screenshot of the question.
So are we
Finished?
gonna rewrite the same with the words that you just gave us?
You have to rewrite it, make it better. And all your job is to not
How
shoot.
many words?
Well, it's always going to be 200 words in us, always. Okay, always 200 words.
Okay.
Now, your job in the homework is, I'll give you a proper assignment in the GCR. You can check the instructions. Okay, the homework is finish the paragraph. Whatever you have written so far, if you want to rewrite it, that's fine. If you want, I would prefer you rewrite the whole thing. Take things which you feel are good from the whatever you have written so far, and add the words which I've given you. Clear?
Okay.
Your just homework is to use those words in any way possible. Not all the words, obviously, but at least 2 or 3 from each category, right? I need at least 2 simile, 2 new words, 2 idioms, something like that. Niranjana, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the deadline, if you have taken a screenshot of the question, take it right now. The deadline is 26th. The next English class, you're now welcome in class. Otherwise, that's it for now. Take care. Goodbye. If there's anyone who's interested in
Bye.
joining with you for English, please ask them. Since we are not just writing English on this level, I'm actually teaching you English on a much greater level because I've done A-level English, I've done university English, and IGCSE English was very hard for me when I was doing it. Now it feels like it's not even 5% compared to what you'll do in university or in class 11.
Wait, were you like ESL or FLE?
So I was ESL in IGCSE, okay, and I was
Oh.
FLE in class 11 and 12, A-levels,
Okay.
right? So when I jumped from my ESL to FLE, I realized there's no FLE in A-levels, there's only English language and literature. So we did literature and English language, that's what I did. And it is much more difficult. So I know how English works, and it's very difficult to get an A in it. So if there's anyone who's interested in joining with us, please ask them, since I was the only one in my batch to get A star in IGCSE English. All right, take care. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.